Here we have Siddhartha Pahwa, CEO at Meru Cab Company, joining us this afternoon. Mr. Pahwa, good to have you on NDTV Profit today. You've actually just launched today a RideShare service by Meru in Delhi. Detail that announcement for us.
So, Meru believes that congestion and traffic pollution are clearly two big issues for the city of Delhi. And unless the government, private players like Meru and general public comes together, this problem cannot be resolved. Looking at this, we had started a carpool service in Delhi in September 2015, and the response of that service was very good. And today we are launching RideShare by Meru in the city of Delhi. This is a service where two people can share their Meru taxi ride from location A to location B, and this will give them the advantage of 30% discount on their fare. This will also be helpful for the driver because he will be able to get 20 to 30% higher revenue, and as a result we will be able to service more passengers with the same number of cars.
You know, everyone who's watching, I'm sure, is interested in knowing how you're going to operationalize this RideShare service.
So, technology has moved in leaps and bounds, and Meru has been really the pioneer in this. On the Meru app, a person can say, I want a RideShare, provide his destination, and Meru will divert a RideShare taxi to his or her location within minutes, and that is how the RideShare will work. Overall, the distance, extra distance to be traveled by the car will be in the range of 3 to 4 kilometers, and at the most the detour is going to be about 10 to 15 minutes. That's how technology we have put the boundaries to it. However, for this extra minute or for extra kilometer, no charges will be made to the consumer, and he or she will pay only 70% of the total fare, which is going to be fixed and informed well in the beginning.
So what, because your competitors are also offering, pooling service in a sense. I mean, that's a broad umbrella word I'm using. What's the distinguishing feature in your approach versus the competition?
See, the first and the biggest distinguished feature for us is that the vehicles that we use are CNG vehicles, so that's a very big differentiator. If you are doing taxi services or if you're doing RideShare, but bringing in more diesel cars onto the roads of Delhi, I think it's not really solving the problem. In fact, somewhere you are creating more problems. So Meru believes that good environment along with good transportation solution is must, and that's why we provide CNG vehicles only. The second differentiation that we have is that because these cars are owned by us and dedicated to us, we are able to provide a better quality for the service to our passengers, and we have a significantly higher control over the service quality and the delivery of the service that happens. And lastly, we provide this service across the sector, across the cities, so people can go from Delhi to Gurgaon to Noida, and we have taken permission from all the state governments to run our services, and that's how our services are different from the other services that are there in the market.
So, with each new experiment, and this is it's a novel approach and, enticing, but there are always security issues as well. Is that a concern for you with the RideShare?
It is a matter of concern, but we believe that based on the processes and systems that we have put in place, we are able to mitigate this risk to a large extent. And let me give you a very simple example. Every driver that comes into our system has to undergo a 4 days of training. There is a psychologist sitting in the panel who observes these drivers and sees how is their behavior and what do they think about women's safety, what do they think about interacting with women passenger, etc. At the same time, we have a very robust quality process in place that whenever we find there are issues about some driver, we take corrective actions. We have always believed that if you want to avoid an incident or an accident, look at the near misses that are there, and if you can control the near misses, the probability of any incident happening is going to be lower. And that's how we have developed this process over last 7 to 8 years. And we are quite proud of this process that we have developed.
Okay. I just wanted to get a sense of what the impact is of odd even, sir, on your fleet.
But we have all CNG cars. So as these are CNG cars, they are allowed to be run on every day of the week. So that's the advantage we have. Yeah.
Okay, that's my bad. Let's talk about the CNG fleet. And I know you'd actually put out some numbers in terms of fleet expansion in, just the next couple of months. Can you share those numbers with us?
Absolutely. Meru has been growing at roughly about 35% CAGR over last 5 years. But this thing, we believe that as the catching up happens on the fleet, we will increase our fleet by roughly about 30-35% in next 6 months or so in Delhi. So overall, with higher number of passengers per car, with higher fleet, we assume that we will be able to grow our business by roughly about 50% in the Delhi region.
Okay, so that's Delhi, but what about the pan-India fleet expansion plans?
So we are currently at about 20,000 cars, and our intent is that in about December 2016, we should be at about 35,000 cars. And by 2022, we plan to be more than 100,000 cars in India.
And, I just wanted to get a sense of the matching geographical footprint, because you've been fairly, steady, cautious in that approach. So what are the plans in terms of number of cities?
So Meru is currently present in 24 cities in India. We believe that there are at least 45 cities in India where a good quality taxi services can be run in a profitable manner. And over next 2 to 3 years, we will be available in all these 45 cities. We believe that it is important for us to run a profitable business, and we are very proud that each and every city that we run in India is profitable or break even.
Okay, fair enough. I want you to be as honest as possible when you answer this question. Assess the competitive landscape. You have the first mover advantage, but there have been a number of entrants since then. And technology, it brings efficiencies, but it's also a great leveler. So just assess the size of this market. I mean, the taxi market in India, and the room for survival for each of you in the space.
So Meru was the pioneer and was the leader for first 6 years, 7 years. We have lost the leadership position, but we believe that we have gone for a balance of growth and profitability, and therefore we have been happy to grow at a very lower pace as compared to our competitors. The Indian taxi market is roughly about $15 billion, and the overall organized market is only about $1 billion at this point of time. Therefore, we believe that for next 5 to 10 years, growth will not be a problem in this, and we are not really looking at taking share away from other competitors, but we want to grow the market, grow the sector, and make the organized sector at least 25% of the overall market. So we believe that by about 2022, the overall industry is going to be about $7.5 billion. And even if Meru has a good 20-25% share of that market, we would be a strong business of roughly about $1.5 billion business, which we think is a very decent size of business to be there.
Okay, so but it's that's riding on a 20 to 25% market share. Who knows how many new players could enter the space? I want to just come back to the period Jan 1 to Jan 15. Everyone who's living in Delhi or in the region is wondering how this odd even experiment is going to work. You've made a lot of promises out there to your customers, including with RideShare. You're going to have to be very hands-on during this period?
Oh, absolutely. I think we have already issued a mandate both in Delhi and across our IT teams, call centers, that all hands are on board. My team, the key 5 people, 6 people who are running are going to be practically present 24 hours, for the next 15-20 days. We believe that if we can make this successful in Delhi, we can make this successful across the country.
And that may be the route that other cities follow too. Siddhartha Pahwa, CEO at Meru Cab Company, thank you very much for joining us. Options emerging as Delhi braces for odd-even formula on cars from the 1st to the 15th of January.